G'day and welcome to Times Academy. My name is Heidi Reed and I'm the principal and I'm really pleased to have you here today. We have a lot of information to cover. It will be a long one, but I hope you can learn something. Welcome to Times. This online orientation has been created to welcome you and tell you all about studying with Times Academy. This is part one of your orientation. There are other parts of the orientation that will take you through all the necessary paperwork and legislative requirements for you to complete your enrollment. This will be an information session, and we need you to pay attention so you know how to meet the conditions of your visa, get help if you need it, and what you need to do to be successful at Times Academy. This is a special version of the orientation created while we have students at Times Academy who are studying in either virtual classes or face-to-face in COVID-19. Due to the COVID-19 virus, we are currently delivering remotely for leadership and management courses and face-to-face for all other VET courses. This means there is special information you need to know. Also, please see the government website, health.gov.au, for general information about how Australia is handling COVID-19. See our school website for our latest news, and you can also find facts for studying online for leadership and management. Today, we will give you a lot of information about your courses and classes. We will provide you with contact names and emails if you need help or have questions. This may be a lot of information for your first day. Pay attention, and we hope that we can make you feel welcome and give you the information you need. This video is available from the student portal at any time for you to view or review. Now I'm going to go through all of the courses that we offer at Times Academy. Let's start with childcare courses. Are you here for a childcare course? If so, are you taking your Certificate 3 or Diploma? Take a look at the course duration and make sure that it is what you expected it to be. Or are you here for a leadership and management course? If so, are you taking your Certificate 4, your Diploma, or your Advanced Diploma? Take a look at the course duration and make sure it is what you expected it to be. Are you here for an aging course or individual support course? If so, are you taking Certificate 3 or Certificate 4? Take a look at the course duration on the screen and make sure it is what you expected it to be. The Certificate 3 of Childcare is a 27-week course with 165 hours of work placement. It's a really wonderful course with well-qualified teachers and trainers who will teach you all the skills you need to work in a childcare center. The childcare course is delivered in clusters. This means that the units of study are grouped together, and you study a group all at once instead of one by one. These are the clusters for Certificate 3. The Diploma of Childcare is a higher level course preparing you for more advanced work in childcare centers. It includes 380 hours of work placement, and Times Academy has an excellent reputation for finding students ongoing and permanent work after and during their studies. Like the Certificate 3, the diploma is also delivered in clusters. There are 13 clusters to complete your diploma. Our trainers for all of our childcare courses are well-qualified and experienced childcare workers and managers. They have a lot to teach you, and they're really excited to get to meet you. All of our courses will occur as a virtual classroom. and I would like to explain what that means. It means you spend 15 hours per week with your trainer or teacher online. You need to log in at class time, complete the tasks, submit evidence, and interact as you would in a regular classroom. This is for 15 hours per week. But for 5 hours per week, you will work independently online to complete online learning modules separate to your class. You will also be required to do reading and other work offline to prepare for your classes. The Certificate 4 in Leadership and Management is a 12-unit course with many interesting units to make you a better leader and manager in your workplace. Like all the other courses, the diploma is also a virtual class with the same hours per week as required of Certificate 4, but it is a higher level qualification. Just in case you think that online means not involved, you are very wrong. The school will be taking attendance and collecting evidence to show that you are attending class, and you may be reported to immigration and risk losing your visa if you do not attend 80% of your virtual classes. This is not a vacation, this is learning. With that in mind, we will try to make all of your virtual classes engaging and interesting to stimulate students and trainers alike. The diploma is a 12-unit diploma, and you will learn many of the skills required to be an effective leader and a manager in a variety of workplaces. Following the same format as the diploma, but again as a higher level qualification, is the Advanced Diploma of Leadership and Management. It is more involved and a higher level course, and it teaches you to really be a leader and make a difference in the workplace. It is also 15 hours of virtual classes and 5 hours of online learning. And yes, your attendance counts. Times Academy also monitors your progress. You must attend to progress, and you must progress to keep your visa. In other words, the more active you are in class, the more successful you will be. The Advanced Diploma of Leadership and Management takes students to levels of strategic planning and compliance that the other courses do not. The skills learned for the workplace will be invaluable, and we look forward to creating innovative leaders for the future. The Certificate 3 in Individual Support is a very practical course to help you learn and to be qualified to care for others. It is a prerequisite of our Certificate 4 in Aging Support. As COVID-19 takes over the globe, never has it been more important to have qualified people working in the healthcare industry to care for others. This is a 48-week course. Like all of the other courses mentioned in the COVID-19 world, this will begin as a virtual class. It will have 15 hours of virtual classes and 5 hours of independent online modules to be completed, and your attendance is crucial. There are 19 units of competency, and like childcare, they are clustered into groups. You will complete many of the units together in a cluster. The Certificate 4 in Aging Support is the last of our courses to talk about today, and we look forward to welcoming you to this virtual class. There are 18 units covering a lot of necessary topics and competencies for you to be an effective aging support worker in Australia and around the world. As previously discussed, at this time, there are 15 hours of virtual classes. Some of this time is teacher-directed. That means the teacher or trainer will be online, leading discussions, teaching, presenting, and facilitating. Some of this time will be student-directed. You may be asked to work in smaller groups or pairs to discuss and learn other things. There will be assignments and assessments, and the teacher and trainer will check your learning along the way. Your attendance is required. In this term, work placement is now continuing for childcare, but there may be some differences or special considerations during COVID-19. Please discuss with your childcare center and your trainer. We encourage students to find their own childcare center, but if you cannot find something, our team is really happy to help you. We usually have play groups here at the school as well, but they may be on hold because of COVID-19. 8 hours per week of your term will be spent at the St. George Educator Center with your trainer and training with real working individual support and aged care workers. Work placement is now continuing for individual support workers in aged care this term, despite COVID-19, but there may be some special considerations or things you need to think about before you enter these places. Please talk to your trainer and make sure you are comfortable with entering an aged care center during this COVID-19 period. These are the intake dates for your school. You can get this information from your school calendar in the student portal. Be sure to plan to be at school for the entire term. Plan any holidays and travel after classes have finished and before the beginning of the next term. In steps 2, 3, and 4 of your online orientation today, you will get to know what your classes are, sign up for preferred timetable, get your individual learning plan, and learn about your timetable. Your timetable may change each term, so please be sure to check thoroughly before the next term begins. Also, in the next part of the orientation, you will get your student login. From the portal, you can check your timetable, see school communication, check your attendance, and see the school calendar. You are expected to attend 20 hours of learning per week. For leadership and management, this is 15 hours of virtual classes and 5 hours of independent online study. For aged care and childcare, this is 15 hours in the classroom, face-to-face with a trainer, and 5 hours online for the first weeks of Certificate for Childcare, or 5 hours of work placement for all other courses. You will have these 5 or 8 hours per week, depending on your schedule. Please talk to your trainer. Students in leadership and management courses and new students to Certificate 3 of Childcare will have 5 hours of online study per week. For childcare students, this will just be for the first 4 weeks of your course only. Then your 5 hours will be work placement. But for leadership and management, this will continue throughout your course. You must remember to log in correctly and do your e-learning, or your attendance will not be counted. There are posters around the school or ask Student Services if you need help to log in for your 5 hours of online study per week. Be sure to contact the finance department if later you have any issues or questions about payments. They are here to help. Please note it is a requirement of your student visa that you pay all of your student fees. During COVID-19, student cards might be a little difficult to get, but we're here to help. Please contact the school to arrange to have your student card made. If you would like a USB with relevant student handbooks on it, please also contact the school to arrange a pickup. This is a summary of the school refund policy. Essentially, today you have begun your classes and you are no longer eligible for a refund. Please contact the school for a refund request form if you believe you are entitled to a refund. The gist of this is come to school and study hard and you'll have no problems. In Australia, on a student visa, you must maintain 80% attendance and you must pass and progress in your course, or you will be reported to immigration and you may lose your student visa. Unless you work in healthcare, where the 40-hour fortnight has been lifted, In COVID-19, you are limited to working only 40 hours in every 2-week period on a student visa. Please note that this restriction is lifted during school holidays, and you may work more hours during your school holidays. All international students require an overseas student healthcare card. You can get this from your school or from your agent if that is where you bought it. If you are unsure, ask the school or ask the agent. It is important to get this card right away, as you cannot plan when you will be sick. You need to be prepared, so if you become sick, that you have your insurance card to cover you. Since January 2015, any student undertaking a nationally recognized training delivered by a registered training organization needs to have a unique student identifier. This includes studying at TAFE or with private training organizations like Times Academy. Each student will need to obtain the USI to obtain their certificate or qualification from Times Academy. This unique student identifier is a reference number made up of numbers and letters that gives you access to a USI account. It allows you to link all of your different training and qualifications so that they can follow you wherever that you go around the world. Getting your USI will be part of the next steps in your orientation. If you have any issues or you're unsuccessful in the next part of your orientation to get your USI, please contact the school for help. Students are required to maintain a minimum of 80% attendance at any point of time. Student attendances will be recorded at each scheduled class on an hourly basis. Any absence of 2 days or more requires a medical certificate. If a student presents a medical certificate for an absence, it is calculated still as an absence and is not factored into your overall satisfactory attendance. In other words, a medical certificate does not substitute for a student being present. However, if you are reported to immigration, this may be considered by the Department of Immigration as a reason not to remove your student visa. Times Academy has a warning system for students who fall behind on attendance or on progress. If your attendance gets close to 80%, you will receive your first letter. After that, you will get a second and a third letter if your attendance continues to fall and you do not improve your attendance. Likewise, you will get a warning letter if you do not achieve academic progress. The first and second letters are emailed to you and require you to come to the school and meet with the academic manager. You can explain your absence or lack of progress and make plans to improve on these things. The third warning letter is very serious. It's called your intention to report letter. This will be sent to you if you do not improve your attendance or progress and may result in you being reported to immigration for failure to meet your student visa. I come back to essentially come to school, study hard, and you won't have any problems with your student visa. As mentioned in the last slide, we send out warning letters if you do not progress in your academics. But what does that mean? What that means is you do not complete the required units in each term. If you fail more than 50% of your units, you are in big trouble. So please come to school. If you're having trouble with your class, speak to your teacher. We can get you help and we can stop you from getting into trouble with immigration. When we talked about the third letter that you receive, which is your intention to report to the Department of Immigration, that means that you need to come and talk to someone at the school. You can appeal the process and we can stop from being reported to immigration, but you really need to have some good reasons. So remember to get medical certificates and tell us what's going on in your life. More important than that is before you're in trouble, before there are letters, come to the school and tell us what's going on in your life if you stop coming to school and stop progressing. We're here to help you, but we just need to know what's going on. To be considered competent in a unit, the student must be competent in each and every assessment of a unit of competency. For example, if a student is supposed to attempt 3 assessments, and one of the 3 the student is competent in, only one, but not yet competent in the other 2 assessments, then that student is required to retake 2 reassessments. They need to redo or be reassessed in those 2 assignments. Students who are absent on the day of assessment must notify the school of their inability to come and bring medical certificates as required. If students are not yet competent or have missed their assessment, they must reschedule and complete the assessment within a 4-week period of time. To qualify for the reassessment, you must have attempted the assessment on a previous occasion. If a student is deemed as not yet competent, then the student must undertake all reassessments in every unit they are not yet competent in. If a student has previously attempted the assessment twice and is still deemed not yet competent, please note you need to pay $200 per unit or module of competency to be reassessed. This is to pay the marker who has already marked your assignment twice, and now you need it done again. It is a requirement of your student visa that you make sure we have good contact details for you. Please make sure to tell us if you move or change your house. Please make sure you tell us if you move or change your phone number. And please make sure we have a valid email address for you. This slide is really to tell you what to do if you're not happy about something at our school. First step, if you're not happy about something, talk to the person that applies to. For example, if you're not happy with your trainer, talk to the trainer. If you're not happy about the front desk and their service, talk to the front desk. If that doesn't work, then you need to come to the student service officer and ask for a student complaint or appeal form. Fill in the complaint form and we will deal with it really quickly. If after that you're still not happy, then we have an appeals process where you can send your complaint to our principal. If you go to your student handbook, you can get more information about this appeals process. But essentially, the principal will then look at your complaint and your problem and try to help you. And then lastly, if you're still not happy, there is an overseas students ombudsman in Australia. They are independent third party and they're here to help students. All of these details are in our student handbook. We hope you don't have any complaints or problems, but if you do, we're here to help. Credit transfer and RPL, which means recognition of prior learning, is really about if you have studied any of these courses before and you think the studies and the work that you did before could get you credit for what you study now. For example, if you're a nurse in your home country, are there some of the things that you have studied that might be useful and can be transferred here in Australia? International students have additional considerations when applying for RPL or credit transfer. International students are advised that where this recognition is issued prior to the issue of a visa, then the period of your visa will be reduced to compensate. Where RPL is granted after the visa has been issued, then Times Academy is required to maintain a full study load with supplementary materials and supervised study. If you have completed the same unit of competency or module in another RTO in Australia, you are also entitled to a credit transfer. Evidence is required, and please refer to your student handbook and talk to your trainer if you think you can get some credit transfers. According to Standard 7 of the National Code 2007, a student cannot transfer between registered providers until they have completed 6 months of their principal course, except under exceptional circumstances. The principal course is usually the highest course the student has enrolled in. What does this mean for you? It means once you have started this course and you got this course for your student visa, it's actually really difficult to change courses and change schools. If you've enrolled in a course that is a certificate for and then a diploma, you have to have completed 6 months of the diploma because it's the highest level course you're in before you are eligible to transfer to another provider. Don't go out and get an offer from another school or think you can move schools and classes easily. Come talk to Student Services if this is what you would like to do and find out what your options are. Alternatively, you can also talk to your agent who may be able to help you change your course or transfer out. Times Academy has a code of conduct. Essentially, you need to be a good person. We expect all of our students to be respectful, kind, and caring to those of different cultures, different backgrounds, and different languages. Please see the student handbook for more information on our code of conduct. But really, just use your head. Think about things. Think about how you like to be treated, and that's how you should treat others in the school. Our code of conduct covers things like health and safety. Make sure you don't do anything dangerous, leave things dangerous lying around. No drugs, smoking, or drinking in the school. And if you do smoke outside the college, you do need to move down the street to do so. You cannot do so right in front of the door. In your class, once you come back to class, you will learn all about fire safety and evacuation. In every classroom, there's a floor plan indicating the closest fire exit. In case of fire, please follow your trainer's instructions. Don't go home. Follow your trainer outside the school where they will take attendance and make sure that all students are accounted for. When you use the kitchen and hot water, please do so safely, keeping in mind that there are also young students in the school. These are some useful websites for your information about living in Sydney. If you feel you're being treated unfairly, there's legal help, and Fair Work Australia can help you if your employer is trying to exploit you or underpay you. You have all the rights and privileges that you should expect living in Sydney. You have a right to a safe home, a place to work, and to be treated fairly and equitably. If you feel any of those things aren't happening, come to Student Services and get some more advice on who to contact. Here's also some information on how to open a bank account from some of the major banks here in Australia. Get your student ID when you open the bank account and you'll get some discounts. We're here to help our students. If you're having any issues with your attendance, your progress, or any problems in your class, our student services are here to help you. We also have a documented critical incident policy. That means if you get hurt, injured, or there's a big problem at school, come directly to the front desk. At the front desk, we're going to get all the information we need and call the necessary people to help. We have sufficient staff, personnel, and people in the school to help you, and we hope that we can provide you a safe, wonderful place to study. Times Academy has support services available to students in transition to life and study in a new environment. Whether it's legal services, emergency and health services, facilities, resources, complaints, appeals, or anything to do with your student visa, we have a staff member who's ready, willing, and always smiling to help you. There's also free legal services and advice available to students and international students here in Australia. Please come to reception if you need more information, and here are some useful websites. You may wonder who to contact at the school if you need help. Mariana Somanzari is your official or first point of contact. During virtual classes, your trainer is always online and willing to help. You can also use the chat function on the website or contact us via Facebook Messenger. We'll get back to you really quickly. Here are some other useful contacts for specific issues or problems like finance or if you need a transcript, etc. This is also in the student handbook if you need it. For more information about early course termination, please refer to your student handbook. Please note you need to have completed a minimum of 6 months of your principal course of study to be eligible for release from your studies at Times Academy. Let me remind you that the principal course of study is the highest level of course that you have applied for. If you're struggling in your classes, we have help and assistance for you. We can provide tutors or trainers for a fee, and there is also some free services available to you from your trainer to help you in the classroom. We have bilingual personnel at the front desk speaking a variety of languages, including Korean, Chinese, Portuguese, Spanish. Just ask us. We might have someone who can help. We are also here to help if you have any language, literacy, or numeracy problems. Come to the academic support services and see what we can do to help. A critical incident is a big problem. Maybe you've been hurt, maybe physically, or maybe mentally. Maybe there's a natural disaster, or maybe there's COVID-19. There are a lot of things that can be considered a critical incident. Please read this and please take a look in your student handbook. In Australia, if you have an emergency, you dial 000 for police, fire, and ambulance. Don't dial 911, dial 000. Here is also the information to contact us at our front desk or contact someone outside of school hours. An individual study plan will be developed and sent to you after today. Sometime when you do part 2 of the orientation and give us all your information, we will know what your timetable is and what classes you're going to study this year, this term, and when your holidays and breaks are. Please keep your individual study plan handy. Make sure you're here to study all the time and know that this individual study plan is your guide to knowing when you're supposed to be in class and online and ready to study. The school has a lot of resources available for you, including free Wi-Fi, copying, kitchens, vending machines, and a library. This is reliant on the school being open, and during COVID-19, we are never quite sure. You need to check with the school and the government announcements to make sure that the campus is still open. At this point of time, the campus is still open and you are free to come in and use the facilities. You can also just come in and meet and talk with our staff. We will be taking your temperature, and only students who are healthy should come to the school. Well, that's it. Welcome to Times Academy. We've given you a lot of information and a lot of it very quickly. All of this information is available in your student handbook, and should you have any questions, you can also come to the front desk, use our online chat, or email us. We look forward to talking to you, and welcome to Times Academy.